Back on the river today. It feels like fall, although it is still summer. It's really windy and kind of chilly. The spot I'm at today, there was an old ferry here at one time, and a ferry is just a boat that would take you back and forth across the river before they had bridges. And there was a crossing here, so I thought we'd just check it. It wasn't the place I wanted to come to today, but the other place, it was a long story, I just didn't make it. So I thought we'd check here. Found an animal trap. This is the first thing I've dug. It's still set, so when it was lost, it was set. There's no springs left, so there's no danger. But I'll go ahead and throw it in the baking pan. We're going to work our way through the river here. I don't know how deep it is in the middle, but probably way too deep for us to wade today. Now, I didn't bring my scuba gear, but if we find stuff today, we're going to come back with scuba gear later. So let's get to digging. Got the AT Max with me today. I'm using the big loop today, only because my little one died, and hopefully they will get me a little one, because I like using that 5x8 when they get some in stock. I guess they're out or something, they said. So one of these days, old Aquachigger will get the little 5x8, I'm sure. So let's get to digging. Let's dig some stuff. Hopefully we'll get some coins. Ferry crossing, lots of people, who knows. And that's the second thing I have dug. No idea what it is. Don't know how old it is, but as soon as I start finding some things that are interesting, I'll go ahead and get the, take the headphones off so you can hear them, and we'll look at the signals and whatnot. But so far, nothing really interesting. So we'll keep going. This is my first non-ferrous item, and it looks to be like a sinker. I don't know if that's modern, but it is in the modern design. So there's actually a really big old house right up over the top of that hill in the field. So this may have come from that. I don't know. Yeah, not sure how old that one is. We'll keep looking. There is a lot of iron in here, and I'm digging other little things. You know, I dug half a horseshoe. Nothing great yet, but I have hopes for this place. The water's a little green though, and it's not much current here, so I don't think we're going to get a lot of underwater action today, but I'll try if we can. Just dug this gigantic iron thing. It's obviously a big cog or gear of some sort, maybe to an old mill or something. Steam engine, I don't know. Someone might have been using it as an anchor. That might be why it's here. Or they could have just dumped it in from the old house up there on top of the hill. Yeah, some moisture shells or something there. Awesome. Okay, I'm not going to keep that. I wish I could keep all the interesting things like this, but you can only keep so much. So, I could probably get about 15-20 cents for that at the recyclers. But getting it back to the truck is going to be a chore. So I'm going to stick to the cannonballs for now. So you know what that is? I do believe that's a roller off of like an old washing machine, hand wringer that would squeeze the water out of your clothes. Not long ago I posted a video where I found a soap dish, and one of the comments was, Sonny, we can tell you have lived a life of privilege if you don't know what an old soap dish is. This was from like 1920. And I felt like writing back or commenting back, saying, well, we were so poor where I came from. We would just sit in a bathtub full of pig fat and wood ashes. Of course, that's how they used to make soap. And but I didn't. But anyway, yeah, I know what some of the things are. I believe this is a ringer or some type of weird cannonball. I'm not sure. I'm still in the spot where that ringer was, that roller from the ringer washer. And it's just tons and tons of iron in here. So I'm just like poking around with a magnet. And I just pulled this thing up, and I almost had a heart attack, because I thought for sure it was an artillery shell. A weird looking one, but thought for sure. I'll show you what I saw when I first saw it. It's an artillery shell. Looks just like, well shoot, actually it might be. Looks almost like a rotating band on the bottom. But I don't think it is, because it's not quite rounded at the edge. See, it's got that little doodad on top. It's like a window weight or something, I guess. It's hollow. Boy, it looked almost like a driving band on the bottom. A post Civil War era something, but it isn't. That was not a driving band. I don't know what that thing is though. Weird, huh? I kind of like it. I'm not going to keep it. I mean, there's so much iron in here. I guess that's where the farmer must have thrown the stuff in. Because, of course, back in the day, they just threw the trash into the river. And but you never know. They might have thrown out an artillery shell or, you know, Grandpa's old sword that they broke or something. So we'll keep looking. I think we're getting closer. I am finding a lot of traps today. This is another one, another leg hold. You can tell it's super old, just like the other one. It's falling apart. So that could have been in the river 100 years, probably closer to 50, but yeah, maybe 100 years, I don't know. So this is kind of a cool find. Do you guys remember what this is? Looks kind of like an ice cream cone, except it's made out of iron. Let me pull it off of there real quick for you, if I can. Let go, you. Remember to get that pick. This is the tip, steel or iron tip to a pole that they would use to push the ferry back and forth across the river. So the map showed that there was a ferry here, and this is a good indication that we're there, or at least downriver from that ferry, because this is the little tip. Picture this with maybe a 14, 18, 20-foot pole on the end of it, and you know, the tip was so that it wouldn't keep getting broken as they were, you know, pushing across the bottom and hitting all these rocks, so getting wore down to a nub. So they always had an iron tip, and I guess they must have lost them a lot, because you find a lot of these any place that there was a ferry and downstream from there. Because of course, if they just dropped it, the wood would let it float away, and it could go a long ways as long as the wood was attached. If the wood's not attached to it, this is pretty much gonna be. Sorry about that. I'll probably edit that out. It would pretty much, or it is pretty much going to be right where they dropped it, if there's nothing buoyant on it to help drag it down the river and make it lighter. And this is why I think a lot of this iron ends up in the river. You notice there's a piece of wire on this one, and that's copper wire, so it didn't rot away. This was used for weight, so it could have been a trot line, but I suspect, at least with my background, that this was probably a trap weight. So that the animal would, you know, when he got caught in the trap, one of those traps that we saw, he would jump out into the water. You know, you'd have the trap along the bank right there. He'd get his foot caught in it, and he'd come out into the water to try to get away. And the weight of this would drag him down, and they'd drown. Very common to have trap weights like this, and I suspect that's what, you know, a lot of the iron is that we find. I mean, it could be trot lines, who knows. And a trot line is just a big, long fishing line with a bunch of hooks on it. Sometimes you'd run it all the way across the river and just let the hooks dangle in the water, or you might, you know, throw it out. You might use a big weight like this and throw it out and have 5, 6, 20 hooks on one line, and check it a couple times a day. That's a trot line. So, but I think these are probably for trapping, if I had to guess. This is a pretty cool little piece of iron right here. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm assuming it probably went to, you know, a piece of wood would have gone through here, of course. Maybe part of a wagon setup of some sort, but, you know, I just love that kind of hook right there. And this is all hand forged. You know, this wasn't cast, or it's not modern, it was hand forged. Unfortunately, that's where I hit it with a pick, so I scarred it up a little bit, but I just love that, that work like that, you know, the artwork of the old blacksmith. You know, some blacksmith made that. You know, it's probably in a shop right up there at that big plantation house. That's just really cool. I'm going to save that for sure. It makes a nice little display. I think so anyway. Another big old heavy one. I guess that's some type of starter or something. Man, that thing's heavy though. Some type of little electric motor. Oh yeah, you can see the little gear on the end of it there. Probably worth some money, but I can't carry all that stuff out of here. Now I do recycle, and I have a lot of recyclables, and I keep a lot of stuff just to take to the people sell. But you know, you have to weigh the pros and the cons. How far are you away from the vehicle? How much effort is it going to take to get it out? Too much effort still yet today. End of the day, next to the boat ramp, I would have taken that in a heartbeat. So we're getting pretty close to where I think the ferry side is, and there is a lot of iron here. I'm not finding any non-iron things like bullets or whatever, not even any sinkers yet, but I found this little tiny lock, which is kind of cool. And very typical of the locks I find in rivers, it's broken. Looks like someone smashed it to get into it. So I don't know if this might have been tying up a boat, or you know, why they would have had it, but mean, I tell you, I'd say at least half of the locks I find are smashed like that. At least the ones in the river. I think this might be another lock because it's smashed right there. Yeah, see, it looks like maybe that's where the shaft came up through there, the loop. A lot of smashed locks. It's just so weird. Yeah, oh yeah, Natch. Look right there. That's where the keyhole. That's the keyhole right there. So it definitely is a smashed lock. Very strange. I just don't know why. I'll think about that some more. Just found a cute baby little horseshoe. Kind of small, but I like it. And a bent over nail. So yeah, don't really know if that was thrown. I guess it was probably thrown and not left over from a horse that had his last slumber right here. Although I'm sure that some of them that I find are. So I wonder if that could be Civil War. What do you think? There's a lot of these pipes in here, these big cast iron pipes. Find those, a lot of these in the river, and there's a lot right here. But there could be something else in here that's good. I mean, if this is the ferry crossing, which I think it probably is. I mean, there were people here all through the 1800s, early 1800s, probably till like the 1920s, you know, when they started really building the bridges. So, we'll keep looking. This place was very obviously used as a dump, and maybe not that old either, because I see a lot of cinder blocks in here. I mean, there's more. I can't even use the metal detector. I might as well just use the magnet in here. In fact, it'd be a good place to go magnet fishing if we, you know, if we weren't already in the water. I think I see a plate, and by that I mean a dinner plate right there. I got something heavy on my magnet. I'll show you in a minute, but I don't know what it is yet. Is that a? I think it is. Look at that. Ooh, I like it. Probably get it in a better light. Yeah, that's kind of a cute plate. I don't know how old it is. Probably not very. It's microwave safe, so we know it's not very old at all. I want to keep it though, just because, well, I can put some bullets in there, or if we find anything really neat from this site, we can use this for the display. You know, just lay it inside of it. I see some Bartles too that we'll look at. Not that one, but I saw some others down here. And there's a vase or something over here too. Might have been concrete, but let me... Yeah, it's probably... I don't know. That's a duck. Yeah, it's a goose. Yeah, this is somebody's dump for sure, but we'll look around because it could have been a dump a long time ago too. Alright, let me get back at it. I'm going to poke around here with a magnet for a while, and if nothing old turns up, we'll go down on the other side of where I think is the ferry landing here, and hunt that for an hour or two, and then I got one other spot we can check before we get back to the boat ramp that might have some old stuff in it, so don't give up just yet. Well, I forgot I was going to show you what was on the end of the pick. I haven't even looked at it yet. I just know it's really heavy. Alright. You ready? Let me start on artillery shield. Wow, that's a big gear of some sort. Wow, I'm glad it didn't hit my toes. Huh, don't know what that goes to, but that's a big one. See, this is close enough. Well, if it was closer, I could probably gather up enough iron here to maybe pay for my gas, you know, to get out here. I'm going to have to put my wetsuit up pretty soon. Well, this is a little bit more interesting than what we've been finding, which is mostly car parts. This is a sickle that you would use to cut grass. It would have had a wooden handle on it, probably a long one. A sickle or a scythe, I guess I should say. Looks like it's either been sharpened a lot, or that's just rusted away, but that's kind of a cool find. It looks handmade, you know, hand forged. So you can see how it's flat on the bottom. That's so it can go along the edge of the ground and you know, cut, and the stuff would just fall over, whether it be wheat or grass or whatever they're cutting with it. So that's a little more interesting and gets me a little more excited at the spot. Well, that's a beautiful piece of chain right there. Look at that. I guess it's really kind of all mangled up. I love how it's twisted. I guess a lot of it was made that way. I mean, it's very worn, but that's just beautiful. I wish it was a little bit longer. That's what she said, right? Sorry about that. So look at this gigantic sledgehammer head. That thing is massive. I found one probably almost this big or bigger than this, I don't know, a few days ago, but that thing is gigantic. It would take a heck of a person to swing that. I mean, I couldn't swing that more than a couple times probably. It must have made him tougher back in the old days, huh? I'm still in that spot where I dug that giant sledgehammer, and there's still a lot of iron in here, big iron. So I don't know if there's going to be a bunch of tools in here. I kind of suspect that's what's going on. Unfortunately, it's all buried under a bunch of rocks and sand, but we're going to dig some of them up because that's really cool. I like tools like that. No idea why people would throw those away, though. It just boggles my mind. Because, you know, they had to be useful. You know, just put a new handle in it. That thing is just huge. Why would you throw that away? Anyway, let's go ahead and finish digging some of these targets, and I'll show you what they are. It's going to take me a while, because I'm not going to go under today, so I'll have to kick it with my feet and use a magnet, you know. Kind of wussified, but we'll get to it. This is the next signal out of the hole, and it's a great big chain. I don't know if that could have been used in the ferry operations or just something that, you know, some farmer tossed in, but we'll keep digging because I think there's a lot more targets in there. I'm still working the little hole where I found that gigantic sledgehammer head or maul head, and I'm not finding anything else that really is keeping my interest. I'm going to show you what we found, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on. I'm going to go down a little bit further. Then we're going to go across the river to the other side of the ferry landing. Now, when I zipped up through here when I first got here, I looked at it and it looks really, really muddy, so I have a feeling we won't be able to detect over there at all. But let me show you what we found so far. We'll hit a little bit more of this, then maybe we'll go to that second spot I was telling you about. It was nice and clear a second ago. Alright, this is a gear of some sort that I found in this hole. And you can see there's some type of enamel wear stuck to it too, so it's just a lot of iron, and I'm not hearing a lot of non-iron stuff, but it's probably because it's masked with all this gigantic stuff. And of course you saw the chain already. We won't spend a lot of time on that. Do you know what this is? It's like a giant shark's tooth. Yep, that's part of a plow. You can see it's broken. That tip right there is broken. And we have a lot of stuff like this. It's like a little piece of rebar, but I don't think it's rebar. This farm stuff, and this is an iron, one of those old-timey irons that you would put on like a wood stove to heat up, and it probably had a look, there's a piece of wire attached to it, so this was used as a weight as well, probably a trap weight I would guess. But that would have a removable handle, so you could have 2 or 3 of these on the wood stove heating up, and you could just pop a handle into it and use it to do your ironing, and as it cooled down, set it back on the stove and put your handle into another one and just keep going. So that's what that is. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to keep any of that. I'm just going to put it right back in the hole where I found it. I will come back to this spot on another day because there's just so much iron here, and I don't know why I'm not hearing like sinkers and stuff, but I'm just not really hearing any non-iron stuff. So this way a little bit, go across the river, and then we'll check out a new spot. I've moved just downriver a little bit and found this. This is a piece of an old fire grate of some kind. I don't know if that would be out of a stove or a steam engine or something like that, but you can see where it's red and burned and actually a little bit melted. So a lot of junk in this river for sure. Could be something interesting though. This is an interesting spring here. It's coming over the top of those tree roots, or that, you know, that big tree right there is coming over the top. You would think it would almost be going underneath. Very unusual. Don't know why, but yeah, pretty cool. Make a nice little sound recording, but I think I have enough of those water ones. So I heard you guys like spiders. Here's a cute one for you. I'm glad he's not jumping out on my face. Not too afraid of us. There's a bunch of them running around on there though, but there's a little one there. Little guy. Oh, look at that one there. That's creepy, isn't it? See his legs sticking out? There's one there, and there's one behind that clod right there. Oh, there's another one up there. That's a big, ugly spider right there. I mean, that thing, to me, is hideous. Gosh. Probably got about 1,000 babies in that egg sac that's hanging underneath it. Man, that's just like a spider den, this tree root, this tree ball. So we're directly across the river now from where I think the ferry landing was on the other side. And true to what I thought, this isn't going to be quite as easy to hunt because there's a lot more logs in here, and I suspect there's going to be a lot of cans and stuff because of the part of the bend it's on. Well, I just started digging, and this place is lousy with iron over here, but I'm hoping since there's not like a road close on this side that there won't be as much modern trash. I just dug this. That's actually the leg off of a stove, like a wood stove or a little coal stove or something, so that's a good sign. I'm happy to see that. I like it. Tons of iron. I mean, a huge amount of iron in here. I'll let you listen to it. Hold on. That's where I dug that leg right there. But yeah, I can just kind of hear. That's all iron mostly. I'll dig some of these good squeaks too. The bottom is not as bad as I thought it was going to be here. It's actually pretty firm once you get down through about 3 or 4 inches of silt, so we might do good here. I did it again. I'm in here, I'm digging tons of iron. I got one nice like screaming squeak. I'm thinking it's a can. Down there with a pinpoint, pulling up handfuls of like old nails and wire and stuff. Squeak's still there. Pull it up. Get ready. You know what that is? That's a belt buckle. This is a military belt buckle. Could date from, well, pre-Civil War, 1812 maybe a little later. Let's take a closer look at it. But this is what they call a clip corner militia plate. So this would have been used by probably the militia, you know, the military, like the National Guard type thing. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's still got the hooks on the back and everything. You don't often find them with the hooks on the back. I have not found one of these in probably 10 years, and I've never found one with the hooks on the back. Well, yeah, I have. Actually, it broke off, though. Oh, man, that's sweet. Sometimes you can find them. They'll have holes here where they would attach letters and numbers and stuff. I'll try to get you some better light on that one. I'm all fired up now, man. This is awesome. I wish I had that smaller loop, though. That I don't like. I really don't like the standard size loop that comes with these ATs. I like that 5x8. I guess they're out of stock or something. I don't know, but they said they would get me one as soon as they can. That is awesome. That's awesome. It really is. That's awesome. And there could be 100 more here, but we won't know until we start looking. So let's get back to it. In here, there's just a ton of iron in here. All right, you ready? I'm using a different pinpointer today. This is called a Gold Digger from Innovative Products, Lander C. It's a pulse pinpointer, and the guy sent it to me. He wanted me to test it out for him a little bit. I mainly wanted to use it in the ocean because, you know, the salt water, because pulse machines, whether it be metal detectors or I guess pinpointers, I'm hoping, don't have any problem with salt and salt water, so they don't faults at all in salt water. But yes, I'm using this today, just trying to get used to it a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's any better than what I normally use, but well, that's what we're using today. All right, get ready. We're gonna go under and see what. Oh, I wish we could go underwater. Yeah, see, that's a piece of like barbed wire. Oh, it looks like a little wolf head, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure that's barbed wire. We'll put it on the boat. But yeah, there's a lot of iron in here, so you guys are probably getting really bored. I think that's a giant piece of iron right there. Pretty sure I'm feeling a giant piece of iron right there, but I'm going to turn the camera off for a second until I at least get it moved I won't pull it up. But so as I was digging that other signal right after I found that really cool belt buckle, as I'm filming and I look up and there's a guy sitting there in a kayak pretty much watching me, and there's like 5 more coming. So I pulled over just to kind of, you know, I don't think the one guy saw what I was doing, but the other ones didn't. I think they were just fishing. There's a whole bunch more people coming in kayaks, and across the river from me where I was before, they're putting in like some type of boat or something. So we're going to have to just cool out here for a few minutes, and I don't want people to know what I'm doing, because like I said in other videos, any one of these guys could be a relic hunter or know a relic hunter, and they see me out here with a metal detector, and especially if they recognize me, or well, they just see somebody detecting out here. I don't want to give this spot away, considering I just found one of the sweetest belt buckles I've found in a long time, like just a few seconds ago. So let's let these people leave. There's at least 4 or 5 more boats coming, and the guys across this river there, I guess they're probably fishing, and they'll take off here in a minute, but we're going to just kind of hang out. We'll see in a few. I guess what we'll do while these people are working their way past us is I'm going to look at that belt buckle again on this side of the boat where they can't see it. But I want to show it to you again because it's really sweet. If you take a look at it, again, it's called a clipped corner because these corners are clipped, and I think they did that so that it wouldn't poke you, although I'm not 100%. And if you flip it over, you can see it's actually very lightly made. It's not a very sturdy plate. And this is the this piece here soldered on, and this piece here soldered on. In fact, if you look, you can see the little blobs of solder, and these are the little teeth that would hook into either the leather or the cloth belt. Now, these are very fragile, and they really don't hold up under campaigning or actual military use. And usually when you find them, this will be broken off or this will be broken off. Now, if you find one of these plates that you think might be a clip corner, not all of them had clip corners, flip it over on the back and look. You can always see a little bit of solder right here and these 2 solder marks. So there'll always be 3 solder marks on the back. That's one easy way to tell that you have a belt buckle or, you know, military belt plate, is those 3 solder marks. You'll almost 99.9% of the time at least see those marks. There are other things that look like this that you can find that aren't belt plates. I actually have a few. There's no solder marks, and it's something else, like something to do with printing, but I can't remember just offhand. But they're still coming. There's still people coming. I want to get back out there so bad. Of course, they're not paying attention to me, and they probably don't have a clue or care what I'm doing, but I like to err on the side of caution because, you know, I do meet people out here that detect. I mean, that happens all the time, so. Well, it looks like I probably should have hit that with a magnet because I think that's a big flat piece of iron right there. What do you think? Yep. Now, I suppose that's what we could have been hearing, because sometimes flat iron will give a really good squeak. Man, I hope not. It probably is, though. Alright, let's hit that on the boat, and we'll just run the machine over that hole again. I don't know how we heard that plate. Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, that's so sad, huh? Oh, there's... It might be non-iron. Problem is, there's so much iron in here, you really can't tell. I'm going to go ahead and just dig it, though, because there's a lot of silt, and well, this is pretty cool. That looks like an old one. I guess that's a doorknob or some type of knob like that, but it's an old one. That's what that signal was we just heard. Oh, that's awesome, man. I love it. I love finding old stuff like that. Especially when you're finding like military stuff mixed in. So, oh, this is awesome. Cool. Let's get back at it. So I'm basically still digging in that same hole where I found that belt buckle and that big piece of flat iron. And I'm finding all kinds of iron there. Now, I am having a little bit of difficulty with this bigger loop, and maybe it's because it's the new machine, the AT Max. figuring out the flat iron signals from the other better signals. But I'm digging a lot of cool iron, so I'm not really too worried about it right now. This is just some of the stuff I found. I just found this oar lock right here. This would be to like a rowboat. Yeah, well, obviously you're jeez, I'm stuck to everything. Yeah, it's an oar lock to like a rowboat, and there's some really cool iron. These bands, and this is some type of tool, I would guess. I don't know what. But we're going to keep digging just right here. I'm just going to take the pinpointer, and we're going to dig out all the iron, because I have a feeling this is going to be an awesome spot. That's old stuff. That's old iron over there. It's not like the other side where it's all like starters and stuff from Volkswagens. This is good stuff here. I can feel it. I can really feel it. Well, we know. We found the belt buckle, didn't we? This is a neat old kettle, well, broken kettle I just found. Oh, that's awesome. That'd been like a cooking kettle. That could date from the 1700s, 1800s, who knows. I did find a homemade sinker as well. I already just threw it in a bag though, but that's awesome. I like this spot. Well, Natch, early. I gotta quit saying Natch. I apologize for that. I don't normally say it, but I've said it like 3 times making this video. Let's get back at it, man. We got like 2-3 hours before we have to leave, so we can find some good stuff in that time. Finally made it over to this tree. I wanted to tie the boat off so we can really concentrate more, because it keeps like blowing around. It's really windy, so it keeps hitting me in the back of the legs and stuff. But on my way over, right after digging that piece of kettle, I dug this really old looking shovel. That's an old one right there. Excellent. I think we're going to find a ton of stuff. I really do, if I quit talking. So it's at least a half an hour later, and I'm still digging a lot of iron, some really cool stuff. I've just been throwing it against the bank there, and I'll show you in a minute. A lot of really old shovels. I dug this, just dug this cool lock right here. That's a neat one, huh? I think it's going to clean up really nice. You can see it's very smooth under there. Ah, that's a beauty right there. There's just so much iron. In every hole that I dig, I just keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper, just pulling stuff out. But I'm not hearing a lot of good non-ferrous sounds that aren't cans. I've dug a couple cans, some tin foil, a few other pieces of junk, but I'm not hearing any, just not a lot of stuff yet. But I'm still too excited to really slow down. So we'll slow down soon, I hope. It'll be dark before long. I'm back working that hole where I found the plate, and I'm just digging a lot of iron. I'm throwing it up there on the bank, and we'll take a look at it in a minute. But I just wanted to show you how many nails and stuff are down in there. That stuff, I just poked the magnet down there. And of course, you can see the rocks are sticking to it too. So that tells you that they're attracted to a magnet, but there's just a lot of square nails and stuff. I think there's going to be some goods. I wonder what that is. I think there's going to be some really good stuff. That looks almost like a, I don't know about that one. It reminds me of a Revolutionary War thing. I'm going to put that in my bag. Yeah, well, so we'll keep at it. I think once we get a lot of these nails out of here, we'll start getting some buttons and other things, maybe a few bullets or things, but there's just so many square nails and stuff. It's awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it. If it was clear, it'd be so much easier though, because we could just fan it and look. But I promise you, I will not turn the camera on again until we find something non-ferrous, or something that is, if it's iron, is just an awesome target. So you may not see me before the end of the hunt. More likely hear me. I know I said I wouldn't turn the camera on for iron, but I had to for this because I don't know what this is. I think I should know, and I figure maybe one of you guys will. This is more of that last item that I dug, but you can see that it's twisted wire with lots of other little pieces of wire on it. I almost feel like I should know what that is, but I don't. But if you know what it is, I'd appreciate you letting me know on that one. Please don't hate me for this, because, you know, I told you I wouldn't show you any more iron, and I've already showed you more iron, and I'm going to show you more iron. You know, that weird little chain looking thing I just found, I stuck the magnet down in the same hole I got that out of, pulled it up, and look what I have. And I think that is awesome. That's like a knife, like I guess a kitchen knife or a knife that you would eat with, and a two-tine fork, all on this in a square nail on the same pick handle, pick. All right, I'll be quiet now. Right underneath that little log right there, I'm gonna go in there and try to see if there's some more. I suspect there's probably more of them, because what's the chances of getting the only two in one batch? All right, I'll be quiet now, I promise. Two guys scooting by on the opposite side of the river with metal detectors strapped to their kayaks. Honest engine. I'll get out of the water before they got here. They didn't see me, so I'm just gonna sit here in the bushes. Oh, that's funny. So the sun's going down. I'm getting ready to leave. I decided to come down river just a little bit from where I was, no more than 100 feet. And there's a bunch of bricks against the bank here. And there's a ton of iron down here. So I think we're definitely coming back here. And I think we're going to do really well. Smaller loop, clearer water. We're going to clean up. Now, I didn't show you the iron I dug, and that's pretty much all I've dug since I last talked to you, but I'm going to show it to you in a minute when we get back to the boat. I just wanted to show you this real quick. Look at all the bricks in the water. A lot of broken ones, there's some up in the bank there too, so I think this is going to be a really good spot. I don't know if there was a house here, or if this had something to do with the ferry. I just don't know, but there is a ton of iron. And I'll show you some of the iron I've been digging. It's pretty neat. I'm going to work my way back to the boat, and we'll go from there. This is going to have to wrap it up for the day. The sun's getting below the trees. I got a ways to go to get back to the boat ramp, and a long way to go to get home. You know, we found a lot of iron here. I had a lot of hope for this site, and I still have a lot of hope for this site, because I think there's going to be some good stuff here, some more good stuff here. But we're going to have to wait until I get the 5x8 loop and the water clears up a little bit. I think it's going to be really fun. I went out in the river, good ways, tons of iron. Downstream, you saw the bricks and stuff, there's still tons of iron down there. And I think if I just take my time, pick through the iron, we're going to find some good non-ferrous stuff. But we found some good stuff. Let's take a look. This is all the stuff that I found in this area, plus one or two things from the other side. But let's just start here. I found a number of these beautiful flat shovels. That one, unfortunately, is a little bit wasted, but I think I found 3 of those. Several of these axe bits. Of course, these are the ice cream cones, or the tips to the poles that they use for the ferry. I got a bunch of those. Other odds and ends. That's a leg to a stove. That's one of the bricks I just picked up. There's another one of those axe heads. I'm going to save that. Lots of just iron. There's big washers. This could be colonial. This could be 200 years old, 250 years old. No problem. A couple of horseshoes, not too many. Let's see, you saw the pot over here, bunches of nails, more pot. Nice, beautiful shovel. Looks like they put a square nail in right here to hold it together at one point as some sort of repair. But let's look at the dish, okay, or the plate. Now, this is kind of the more interesting stuff. I didn't show you these as I was digging them because they were iron, and I promised you I wouldn't show you any more iron, but I found 3 horse stirrups, and of course this is what you put your foot in when you ride a horse. And these are very old, but all 3 of them are smashed, which I find very curious. There's one, and this one here, you can see it is smashed as well. I don't know why they would have done that. And then I have another one. Yeah, this one. This one is, well, it may not be smashed, but it's shaped funny. I've never seen one quite like that. You saw my little 2-tine fork. Got a knife. That's the sinker bullet. Not a bullet, but the homemade sinker I was telling you about. I didn't show you me digging that. Couple locks. This thing that I would just love to know what it is. I almost know, but not really. And of course, well, there's another one of those locks, and of course this plate. This is the creme de la creme for the day. This is actually much more rare than like a normal U.S. Civil War belt buckle, and especially since it's complete. All the hooks are on the back. That's just a beautiful piece, and it's just, I'm just amazed that was like the second target I dug here. Then that right afterwards, and that's it. The rest of it was iron. So I hope you enjoyed that hunt. It got off to a kind of a rocky start. This made up for all the lost time, plus maybe a couple of hunts into the future. I mean, I'm really, 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 really happy with this. And I think there's going to be a lot more stuff here. We'll come back. I'll get that little loop. Water will clear up because it just rained not too long ago. And we'll find some more stuff. I really have a good feeling about this place. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, hold your breath until the next video, which will be tomorrow night. We'll see you then.
You are my lady, my big round baby, and I'll rock you until I go to sleep. She'll shake the coins from your pocket, take your gold chain and your locket. Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the ring from your hand and bury it in the sand and keep it for eternity.